Hello there, I'm the base manager and welcome back to Satisfactory. Now, today we are going to finally after all of this time, set this thing up. We are going to have reinforced, no heavy modular frames going by the end of the episode. And yeah, I can't wait to get this done because we have been postponing this for far too long. In fact, it is raining right now so that we can wash the shame out of our faces because we are finally gonna get this done. So, in previous episodes I already have done the math, and in between episodes I readjusted the math to be as precise as possible so that I know precisely how many machines I have to do of each. But there is one thing that we are kinda missing, not really missing, but you see right now our foundry is producing a bunch of steel. That's cool and all, but we need more than that. We need iron as well, right? And we are going to have a 1-to-1 ratio on smelters and these machines right there. We need 11.3, which is 12 in my book. Let's round this up to 12. Which means we are going to need 12 smelters, which means we are going to need a bunch of iron. How much iron in precisely? 360. Now, good news my friends, that is quasi done already. Okay, so we have some iron somewhere around here, I believe. I went and I explored a little bit to search for it, and I found there is a little bit of iron over here. The only thing we have to do is bring that iron into this truck station over here and input it into that truck. So the truck that last episode was a disappointment because it could not go up a ramp, today is going to be pretty useful, my friends. So how about we start with the iron bit. I already prepared the truck station right there. As you can see, I even tagged it and everything. The belts are already done and going into the furnace area. The smelter array is not yet done, just the belting part. So yeah, I also already done a little bit of the belting on the other side because you know, that part is time consuming. You guys never get to see it anyway because I cut it out of the episode, and that way I save on file space so that I don't have to have like 250 gigabyte worth of video to edit. But yeah, let's take care of the iron bit first, and then we can just start putting all of the machines in place and get the heavy frames going as fast as possible. I also expanded the hyper network to go that way. I don't know what to call that side of the world just yet, so that way it is for now, right? But yeah, this belt is pretty simple. It goes underneath the road. This is actually a pretty long road. Only when I was building the hypertube did I actually notice it. But yeah, we have our station right there. This one is slightly different. I thought this was far more aesthetically pleasing to have this station, you know, underneath the road that connects to the platform over here. Right, the station is right there. Now, when it comes to the belting part, we have belts going all the way over there. We still don't have the machines yet, but we just have the belts. The belts go inside, and from there they are connected to floor holes right there, right, and that connects directly to the truck stop. Now, because this belt is pretty long, we needed supports along the way, and so I just came up with these, like, I found, like, there is no way to attach belts to the ceiling, right? So what I did was I placed one of these, right, like so, bam, and then bam, place these thingies, right, bam, and then bam, right, deconstruct this, and then build the beam. We have a cable in the way, which is going to make a little bit difficult. Come on, there we go, and then build the beam like so, and that way the thing looks pretty neat, right? I'm just showing you guys this because I thought this was actually pretty cool, and you know, I wanted to share with you. But yeah, that's connected to the truck stop right there. I already painted it and everything, and now the final thing left to do is just go over there into the deposits and collect that beautiful iron. Those are two pure deposits, so we are going to have 240 items per minute, which is pretty nice. Yeah, there we go. Here are them deposits, one right there and the other side and the other one over there. So yeah, now I already remember that I forgot one very important thing. Can you guess what it was? Can you guess? If you said portable miner, you would be correct. Alright, so time to put these bad boys to work. One right there and another one right there we go, and then we connect. Oh boy, don't fall. Don't fall, the fall would be dangerous. Then we go and we connect it. Something along these lines and bam. Come on, connect. Beautiful. The next one is going to be a tad bit trickier. It just needs to go over this mount. It climbs. Yes, it does. So beautiful. Goes here and from here connects to there. Beautiful. And now the final bit, which is already here, because past me is very considerate. Yeah. He brought this power line all the way over here, so that we didn't have to go back for it, and now we have iron being mined over here. We still need to overclock this. No, 240 and 240 over here as well. Cool. So now the iron is being transported at great speeds into... Come on, you as well. Beautiful. Into the truck stop right there. So the infrastructure that we built last episode is turning out to be even more useful than we initially thought, and even though we were disappointed at the performance of these bad boys, there is no ramps for it to disappoint us, so it is just a straight path from here all the way into our space factory, where it's going to unload its iron load, and then we belt it into the foundry, which is placed below the advanced components factory. So now I'm just going to wait a little bit for iron to be accumulated over here, and then I'm going to set up the route for the truck. Alright, so while a bunch of iron is being accumulated over here, I think it is time for us to start the recording process. Hopefully this thing is not going to encounter any truck in its path to ruin the recording thingy, but if we do, it's totally fine, because this is not a very long path. And we face our very first problem. We have someone in front of us. Could you please move, good sir? I am in a rush. Please move. Oh no! I don't want to have to contact my insurance, but I will push you out of the way if need be, okay? Alright, attempt number 2. Perfect. Could you please stop? Could you please stop? Thank you. So now, naming these things is starting to become a little bit difficult. Iron, let's say compacted coal, so that I remember. 2, space elevator, advanced components. Good luck remembering this, future me, okay? Good luck. All that I know is that now this thing is done, loaded. I'm just going to pull this down backwards a little bit so that it starts by loading in the produce, right? Let's go in here and let's edit this node to be at least 15 seconds, and we'll see if this is enough to load this thing completely. I mean, this thing is almost full, so Should be more than enough stuff, but in any case, enable autopilot. Let's leave the... I don't know why, but I think you're doing it wrong. Well, it got itself unstuck, so in the end, who am I to judge, right? Oh my lord, you are doing everything backwards, my friends. Okay, this one was interesting. It just collided against something and yeah. Now what, game? Your move, because you were the one that okay, maybe these trucks are not as good as I initially thought, because the cubes, they don't do this, okay? They collide sometimes with... I think what happens is, in order to keep these things from colliding with each other, the mesh box or whatever it is that the game uses of the vehicle in front of it, like it extends a little bit backwards, like, right, and so they collide against that thing instead of colliding with the vehicle, and that prevents, you know, accidents from happening or whatever. But I just don't think that the truck has the same, like, capability, shall we say, to keep on track as the other vehicles, and this is extremely messy, but as we can see, everything works. All the vehicles know where they should go, which is incredible. I can't believe I actually set up something that works for once. Well, my friends, after a couple of turns, I have determined that this thing actually works pretty well. It might have a couple of accidents every once in a while over there on that stretch, because it's achieved actually pretty impressive speeds. But the computer auto-fixes these issues, so you know what, even some of the derpiness that we had on the first cycle is kinda gone. So now we can move on and do other things, but first I'm just going to wait for my royal carriage to take me there, because why should I walk when I can just ride this thing? And it is pretty spectacular, it is quite stable, it doesn't hit me at tremendous speed like the cube does sometimes. So yeah, just going to wait for the ride to be over. As enjoyable as it was, our ride ends here. Thank you for the lift, my friend, but try not to derp out too much now, because I won't be around to fix any issues, okay? Okay, and don't pick on the smaller vehicles just because you're bigger, okay? Now we have the iron over here, which is pretty nice, so the thing that we have to do next is to come over here into our foundry area and pick these two lines that we have over here. Oh, something is not correctly connected in here, because one line has iron and the other doesn't. No, well, let me go see what's going on. Okay, so we have iron on both lines over here, so this must be a connection problem over here. Right, we have iron on the top one, but not the bottom one? Why is that? Because the game derped out, that's why. Alright. It sometimes happens, it seems to be connected, but it is not. Oh my lord, for real? Is this a joke? Oh, come on, game. Okay, game, are we done with the derpiness now? Are we? Jesus, my friends, sometimes the game does derpy things, but oh well, let's forget about that. We need to find a way to fit 12 of these bad boys in here, feed them iron, and collect the ingots from them. So we need 360, which means we are going to need 2 lines. So how about we just... No, we need 360 iron to be inputted. This thing does 20 per, right? No, it's a 1 to 1. Okay. Alright. Alright, 8 of these bad boys on either side equals 16, so that we convert all of the iron that we are inputting into iron ingots. I'm pretty certain we'll find a use for the rest later as we produce other things, right? But for now, this is what we are going to do. We are going to feed 1 belt on either side, and then we are going to collect 2 belts in here, doing something similar to this, putting the mergers in the middle. We collect from 4 on each side, and then we move it into a superior level, shall we say, while the bottom level is reserved for the next 4 machines. So yeah, time to start building and belting all of those things. Okay, my friends, I think that everything is done. Recipe is set, power is cabled in, resources are here, ready to go, and the belts are all ready. As well, we are even already belted towards the outside and into the elevator. I don't think we have anything upstairs, but at least that part is done. So let's connect that, and let's connect that, and everything should come into living pretty soon. There we go, beautiful. A bunch of ingots being produced. Of course that this line is going to stall pretty quickly. I mean, those ingots have nowhere to go, but hey, this part, at least, is done, which means that we can now focus ourselves on the top floor, making sure that all the machines are Tetrised into that tiny little space, and yeah, that we can set up everything. I'm just going to make a triple sure that all the machines are working, and then I'm going to move upstairs and proceed with the build. Okay, final recap. We have the beams, the rubber, and now the iron and the steel. All of these are going to be converted into heavy modular frames. Step by step, they are going to turn themselves into ginormous, extremely tough cubes. Yeah, now comes the interesting part. Fitting all of this into this relatively small platform. Alright, my friends, good news, the very first room is now done. In this room we are going to be manufacturing 3 inputs: the steel beams that we are going to be using to make the screws, the steel pipes that we are going to be using to make the frames, and the steel plates, not steel plates, the iron plates that we are also going to be using to make the reinforced plates, and then convert said reinforced plates into the frames, right? Yeah, this is actually pretty well organized, nothing super fancy other than one quick thing over here. You see, we have lines downstairs coming from the forge that are carrying 200 resources when it comes to the steel beams. 200 steel beams, steel ingots, I mean, per minute. However, that's not even like close to the ratios that we want, right? In here we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 making pipes. We needed 9 point something. We round that number into 10, so 10 means we need 300 per minute. We bring 2 belts, meaning we are transporting 400. One belt goes here, the other belt goes there, right? That leaves 50 per belt extra, so we have this neat overflow system, right? Eventually the lines are going to fill up and they are going to overflow with 50 items per minute. We pretty much collect the overflow from this line and the other line and merge it over here. And over here for the steel beams the same is going to occur. We have 3 machines, we needed 2.5, we rounded that up to 3, and these need 60 plus 60, 120 plus 60, 180, meaning we have 20 additional resources that are going to be overflown, and that means that effectively we are going to have a line over here which is going to be like the overflow line that should technically transport 120 steel ingots per minute, which is pretty nice. When we can probably use that in future recipes. So yeah, I still haven't bring this belt anywhere, it's just here because I don't really know where I want to take this thing, so yeah. And that's pretty much it. Those 3 resources, they then get sent in here, and from here they get sent into the respective rooms where they are going to be required, right? And that's, well, what we are going to do up next. So from the list we can remove this because this is done, and we can remove this because this is done. We'll have to split the output later, but because we are probably just going to make a small room for the manufacturing of screws, we are just going to combine everything, and then we split that output across the things that need it. Besides, we need a Mark IV belt over here, so this is going to be interesting, I can tell you that. Alright, my friends, when it comes to the screws, we are now established. So we have this belt over here that brings the beams, the steel beams, right, all the way into these machines. It gets split, you know, in a Stack Overflow like this one. That's pretty normal, but yeah, these machines are producing a whopping 260 per minute. We know that those over there need the 390, so in order to achieve those numbers, we need the Mark IV belts that we don't have, but we are going to assume that we have. That way we just need to upgrade these in the future. So the way to achieve said number is to have one full belt and half of another belt merge into just one. That means that we have 390 over there, 390 over there, and 390 over here. Now because we have more machines than we needed. We have 7 when we needed like 6.4 or whatever. We are going to have a little bit of excess screws that are not going to go anywhere, because for the reinforced plates, which are these two machines, they need 480, meaning, you know, 2 belts of 240, and these things produce 260. Therefore, each belt already has more than we need, and so there is no point in merging and in splitting these in half and then merging with these belts. There is just no point in doing that. Cool. So over here we can remove a couple of other things, such as this. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, and this thing, the pipes, are already being produced, so bye-bye as well. Pretty cool. So we can remove this, everything is done. Beauty, beauty, beauty. So we have a couple of things left. Actually, just a couple, really. An assembly line to make reinforced plates, and an assembly line to make modular frames. Now, these are going to be the most bulky part of the build. So yeah, because for this one we need a whopping 18 machines. However, we are going to overclock them at 200%, so that we only need a 9.3, which, if you're guessing it, we are going to round to 10, because that's the way I like to do things around here. I always like to round my numbers upwards and produce a little bit more than necessary. So yeah, get out of here as well. Two final things left to do, so let's start with the reinforced plates. Okay, my friends, the first assembly room is now complete and belted, so we are going to have the screws coming from that room over there, right? They get inputted from that room into this one using this sky bridge. Both belts are splitted and sent across their individual lines. As for the plates will come from that room over there, as we have established previously, going through here, drop down and split. Come on. And split it across the two lines. The inputs are the traditional ones that we have been using forever, right? And the output is just over there. So it's just another assembly room with a little bit of a fart cloud going around, which is a bit annoying, but oh well. Now the output will go from here into somewhere. I don't know where yet, but these are the plates that are going to be used in the reinforced, not reinforced, the modular frames, right? We need a couple of modular frames, which is the last thing that we have to set up before we do the final manufacturing thingy over there, right? And those things are going to require the reinforced plates. So yeah, I still need to get this one rolling first to see where I'm going to put the output going for. Now, good news is we still have a bunch of room. Yeah, look at this, we still have a bunch of room left to build, which is very nice. So I think I'm just going to get along and do that, because, you know, we are very, very close to achieving our objective. Okay, my friends, the frame assembly room is now complete. Would you look at this? It looks precisely like the other room, except with a few more machines, and it's going to be making frames. So yeah, once again, nothing special about this one. It uses the same feeding system that we have been using forever, right? yeah, like we have the inputs brought from the outside. I believe this one brings the plates from the other room, and this one brings the pipes all the way from the first room that we built. They get splitted in here. First we split the pipes, 50% goes here, 50% goes there. The reinforced plates come through here, get splitted over here, and then that is sent into this line, and that line sent into the other set of machines, right? Then the frames, all of those... how many frames are we going to be producing, by the way? 6? Close to 60 per minute, right? In fact, it is 60 per minute because we have 10 machines, therefore we are producing 60, even though we only need 58, but you know how things roll around here, we always produce a little bit more than we need, just to make sure and stuff like that. So yeah, we are going to be producing a whopping 60 frames per minute, and that's because, like we had established before, all of the machines are overclocked at 200%. That's the only way we can get along with just a few machines, otherwise this entire room would be just assembly machines, right? If we take a look in our trusty logistics tower over here, we can see that we don't really have a lot of room left. We have like that little square over there where the manufacturers are going to be. Everything else has been occupied. Now, moving on into the next thing, let's get in here. We have the final bit, and after this, it's going to be done. I can't believe it, my friends. I absolutely can't believe it. Now, these new machines are going to present new challenges. We have a feeding system for the assembler that requires 2 inputs. These things require 4 inputs. I'm not going... hello? I'm not going to stack things like this, right? And then try to, like, feed it. No. No, that's not going to happen. I'm going to need something a little bit different now for this particular build, and because the way I have built things, life is going to be slightly easier for us. You see, we know that we need a bunch of screws, right? And I kind of screwed myself in a little bit because I got the output of the screw thingies to end up in here, and even if they go somewhere else, there is just no space for them to go. So I thought to myself, how the hell am I gonna bring 3 lines of these bad boys right all the way over there? Like, it doesn't fit nicely if we go like this, right? It clips, and then we have all of those. Yeah, it was a mess. So, given that underneath this platform we have our spaghetti floor, we are going to bring those inputs through there. These floor holes then connect over here. We can make the mess that we want, and then we bring the resources straight down, and we just put the elevator to feed the machines directly. Right? Makes sense, right? Now, with all of that said, it is time for me to go upstairs, delete the manufacturers, and just get all of this stuff inputted. We also have the other stuff coming through here. We have the rubber and the beams and the frames coming through here. So we have stuff coming all over the place, and we need to combine those belts and organize it in a way that actually allows us to feed these machines. So, time to get started. Well, I mean, I said I was not going to do this, and apparently this is what we are going to do, because it works. I mean, if it works, it's like... when I worked briefly as a mechanic, and we had a saying, if it works, don't fix it. It looks stupid and it works, and it's not stupid, okay? We used to say those 2 things all the time, and well, apparently that logic is going to stay true today, because, well, apparently this is going to work, so I'm not going to complain about it, and I'm just going to take it, I suppose. Alright, my friends, the assembly area is now done. I mean, this was actually simpler than I at first anticipated, so yeah. We're still using the same method of delivering items as we were before. Granted, the more belts we add to this thing, the uglier it gets. Alright, we all know that, but hey, this is the first time using this, so this is what we have come up with. Hopefully in the future we'll find additional methods of delivering the items, especially because we are you know, using the floor below to do some of that transportation, which is something that is not going to be available in upper floors, right? But all that it matters is that now all the items are being delivered. Downstairs we, you know, are transporting the items. Come on, please, thank you. Like this, right? We have these floor holes that brings the elevators into this level. We stack them in 3 layers and then we just bring them up using pretty much the same method as we brought them down. And so, my friends, with all the belting work done, we already have the output belt going all the way down into the spaghetti floor and then into a temporary storage area over there. We are going to have like a small warehouse for all the components that we fabricate, but that warehouse is still something that we need to build. For now, we just need a place to put those frames in so that we can go pick them up once we need them for building. So, like everything is connected, all the belts are done, so unless I have forgotten like one small recipe, one belt here and there, you know, something of that sort, everything should come into life the moment I connect this thingy into one of these 4 thingies. I kinda wanted to make a switch in here, but I don't have those unlocked just yet, but are you ready? There we go, we should see a massive power spike coming in soon. Things are coming into life now. Of course that not all of the machines are coming into life just yet. That fart cloud is the most annoying thing ever. But oh well, here we go. So now, as we can see the pipes, the plates, everything being produced. Ain't this beautiful? I think that it is. We have the beams over there that should go and be turned into screws over here on this part. I think this is for the screws. Yes, it is. There we go. We have those iron beams being inputted, and now screws should start to flow. Well, I spot with my little eye one belt that is not connected. That's why we review everything. But yeah, these belts should start coming out pretty soon. There they go, beautiful. They are going down, which means that sooner or later the manufacturers should get their stuff as well, because this is not connected. And this is not connected as well. Beautiful, there we go. So now all of the inputs are connected, and therefore these manufacturers should be operational pretty soon. There we go. We're just waiting on the modular frames now. What seems to be the hold up in here? Reinforced plates, you say? Oh, here they come. Very slowly, I see. Let's investigate this further. I'm pretty certain I have connected everything correctly. But that might be like one belt missing here and there, you know? We have to investigate and see if everything is actually flowing the way it should be flowing. Well, this much is flowing the way it should be. Look at that. That is just beautiful. What seems to be the problem in here, good sir? Probably just the screws are not yet ramping up as they should. Yeah, I think that's the problem, is just the screws. The screws that feed the reinforced plates are the last ones to be fed in this line. So yeah, this machine is fed first. Once it backs up, the output goes into this one and then into this one. So it's just a matter of things ramping up, because these 2 machines, which are the last ones, are the ones that are not receiving the steel beams, and therefore they're not producing the screws for the iron reinforced plates. So it's just a matter of time until everything comes into life now. Oh, here we go. We are producing our very first modular frame, my friends. Would you look at that? Beautiful. Finally, we have production of modular frames. This is absolutely great, my friends. Our very first manufactured produce is now being produced over here. We now have access to the advanced components. This is just great. I can finally now come over here, right, into the like a future platform or something like this. This is supposed to be like a train station or something of those sorts in the future. This is just where I have the manufacturer that represent the stuff that we are going to be producing. This one can now be deleted. We still need to create AI limiters, motors, and computers and circuit boards and something else. No, they're just so nothing. So yeah, we still have 4 items that we have to produce in these facilities, but now we can say that they are finally operational, at least even if they are just producing one thing. So now, once everything ramps up, which should take a fair bit of time, but we know how that thing rolls, this thing should be full in no time. At 10 frames per minute, the time that we take like building some of these things is just tremendous, so yeah, I think we're going to fill this storage up very quickly. Now, this is completely temporary, I just need somewhere to put the stuff that it is produced right now. And yeah, for the future we are going to have like a small export area right here with a few truck stops, maybe, or just a continuation of the train station. I don't know, that's way in the future for us. So the idea would be to have like a small warehouse where we produce all of our stuff on top of that truck station. In here we're going to do things like we're going to try and be smart about it. We don't want like to have everything like overflow all the way back and whatnot, so we are going to create like smart splitters over here, so that once the storage we're going to have 2 storages, by the way. We're going to have one storage to serve as a buffer for export, right? Once that buffer is filled up, it goes through a smart splitter where the remaining stuff goes into our personal box, and then once our personal box is filled up, it goes through another smart splitter, which then sends the stuff into an awesome sink. That's the plan for our warehouse in the future, but I think I'm going to produce more components before I see that warehouse built. But yeah, mission accomplished, my friends. So with that done, how closer are we to the Mark IV belts? That thing should be a priority for us. I believe it is in the expanded power infrastructure where we get the Mark IV belts. Well, we are very close, we just need a computer next. Pretty cool. Okay, one more item and we can unlock this thing. I mean, I could just brute force the computers. That's not like exotic components, right? We have all of that stuff except for the circuit boards, but once again we can craft those easily. But at the same time I think that I would rather produce these first in our factory before I unlock the milestone. It feels right going that way. And besides, it's like we're going to be spending so much time that the throughput is not going to be an issue. Surely we are not producing the frames at 10 per minute because we don't have the Mark IV belts and sorting the screws, blah 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 blah. But who cares about that? That's like those are just numbers in a stat sheet that managers look at, and they rank their employees on their performance and stuff like that. I'm the only one in here, so I don't care about those numbers, you know? I can give myself a stellar performance every monthly review. But yeah, my friends, up next we are going to attempt to make the computers, right? It would be nice if we could make 10 computers per minute, the same rate as the frames, which means 4 of these machines, which like once again brings us into ridiculous numbers when it comes to this stuff. But oh well, you know, it's one of those things, right? It's something for future me to figure out. I mean, sure, we need that, so why not, right? Let's get this done up next, or at least attempt to. So my friends, with today's objective completed and next episode's objective already set, I think this is where we are going to cut our time at, my friends. So, with all of that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!